Channel TV. Rewriting Africa's story through enterprise Amazons. We promote women in business. We showcase women in business.
Entrepreneurs Channel TV, creating a platform of expression for every woman.
Welcome to another edition of Women in Service. This is Entrepreneurs Channel TV, Africa's first gender-based television service. I am Jesuto Olatoye. With me in the studio today is Mrs. Dunbe Birsan, our special guest. Ms. Dunbe Birsan is a graduate of accounting from the Federal University of Kashere, Gombe State. From her time in secondary school, she has participated in various essay competitions, one of which was held by the National Orientation Agency in her state. Currently, she has started a foundation known as Political Lady. This foundation works hard to assist children from less privileged homes and also to help children who have been assaulted. She writes short stories, draws, and paints as a hobby. Nice to have you in the studio, Ma. Okay, so I'll start with our first question. What are the events that led to you being a child's rights advocate?
Yes, actually, the first event that drew my attention to start up the advocacy on the rights of children was the first essay competition I held, which was organized by the National Orientation Agency, which has to do with ending violence against children. And as a matter of fact, that was like, let me say, it was an eye-opener towards the issue of child rights advocacy, because I discovered that there are a lot of children who are being assaulted each day of their lives. And there are a lot of children out there that are facing a lot of challenges, which actually someone needs to do something about it. Because when we look at Africa, a lot of our population are not civilized much concerning things that has to do with the rights of children. So that's one reason why I decided to go on this journey of child rights advocacy.
So how was the journey like when you left school and decided, oh, I want to really focus on children's rights? How was the journey like?
Quite certain the journey of studies as an undergraduate, I was still advocating for the rights of children. And combining your academics with this stuff is not as easy as
easy. Yes.
And as a matter of fact, in one or two occasions, I might have faced one or two challenges, in terms of either convincing people or going out to the field, because I majorly work in the grassroots. Easy as this, actually.
Okay, so I'll move on to our next question. Can you explain to us what child labor is? And why do you think child labor is high in the African continent?
Yes. Child labor is the exploitative use of children, which prevents them from going to school and also, has a physical, mental, or moral harm on them. It is any activity that when a child does, it either affects that child mentally, psychologically, physically, or otherwise. Also, the major reason why this child labor is high in Africa, when we look at the global statistic of child labor based on the United Nations Labor Organization, you find out that a lot of children that are being assaulted, or let's say that are involved in child labor, are from the poorest world countries, and which Africa happens to have more of these countries. So, as a matter of fact, as a result of poverty in Africa and a lot of things, these are some of the things that trigger a lot of high rate of child labor in Africa.
So how does this child labor lead to moral decadence and increase in social vices?
Yeah, certainly. I would say that indeed child labor is more of a training ground for social vices. As a matter of fact, the child outside his home and he learned a lot of things which probably they might not be good And this is one of the things that affects our children. It makes them to lose their freedom. And you find out that a lot of children who are involved in child labor have the tendencies of being assaulted, either through physical harassment or sexual assaultations, stuff like that.
So what I understand is you're saying child labor is like a door. It exposes these children to the most negative things you can find in the country. Okay, yes, I understand.
Confirm.
Yes. So over the years of you working with child rights advocacy, what has been your greatest challenge?
Actually, as I said earlier on, my greatest challenge has been, in terms of convincing people, because majorly I focus on the grassroots. Because it is in the grassroots, we have a lot of illiterate people that are not civilized. And you find out that, Africa, we have been surrounded with a lot of norms, culture, and tradition, which makes people, to think in a particular perspective. Like the way they face life is quite different. They feel like they have all the authority and they will make children to do whatsoever they want to do. They don't even know that things like child rights, actually exist. Yeah. So when I get to the grassroots, I start to convince people that things like child rights do exist and the children need to go to school, and at least they need to allow the children not to face certain things. These are some of my greatest challenge in child right advocacy, because so many times you find out that you have to maybe use their dialogue, you understand, their dialects to explain certain things to them. That's one of the challenges.
Okay, I can see that most times when we see cases of child labor, it's not exactly the fault of the parents, because there's no money. They feel they need to put their children out there to sell and all that. What do you think is a way out for people like this?
Yes, actually, there are families like this, and that's more reason why, as individuals, it's good in terms of even the government and various agencies have their own role to play in this, because it's good that you educate people on the importance of giving birth to children that you can actually cater for. You don't give birth to children that probably you can't cater for them. And should in case, if the only way to survive, because this thing I was saying it sometimes back said that some years back when I was speaking on a program during the Commonwealth Women Network Program Nigeria, I told them that if it's a must for a child to hawk or to be involved in child labor to survive, but then that shouldn't deprive him of his right to education. At least, be it in the morning hours, the child should be allowed to go to school. Probably afternoon we come back and continue with that. But it shouldn't be that totally that child is deprived from going to school. And also people should be much more sensitized concerning the issue of child labor. Because there are people that they just feel as if children are source of wealth. Because there was this case sometimes back I was reading. It's like a norm in a particular community. They give birth to children and send them off to the city to go and work and send money for them. Probably children even as little as the age of 5, they send them off to the street for child labor just for money. So you see, this kind of people, they need to be sensitized, and legal agencies need to do something about this, because if you're caught, when actually you're being penalized, you will not fight again. I think these are some of the things we need to do.
Okay. I understand that you started doing your own part in fighting against child labor by starting your own foundation called the Political Lady. What was the thought process behind naming it the Political Lady?
Yes, actually, a lot of people, when they see the name, a lot of things comes to their mind, actually. The major reason was then I was an undergraduate. And during my days on campus, I do involved in all those campus politics, to the extent that I was once the treasurer of my state union, and later on I became the vice president of my state union. So that was more reason I was known with that nickname on campus, political lady. So and that foundation, I founded it while I was on campus. That's why the name political lady.
Okay, I understand that even ever since university, you've been very, very busy taking one position and the other. Well done, Ma. Okay, so I'm moving to my next question. You mentioned in your profile that you are currently writing books regarding child's rights. How is it coming along, and when are you planning to release these books?
Actually, I've been writing a lot of books regarding children, child
Yeah.
rights. I've wrote, I think, one which is currently with Durrance Publisher, that's The Child Civilization. And actually, they have approved it. We are just waiting for time, maybe within the space of either this year downward. Anytime, those books will be available in various slots.
I commend your efforts, ma.
Thank you.
Okay, so the art of writing, is it something you formally learned, or have you just always had a flair for it since childhood?
Well, actually, I could remember when I was still coming up, I was that time to just go through it, start reading through some passages. And this has given me some kind of inspiration to start writing. Even then, I never, have the anything called or, exposure to say that let me go ahead and do some publications or stuff like that. But even today, if you go back to my room, you will see a lot of books already written once on my shelf. It's just an inspiration, something that is more of natural.
Okay. So, Ma, there's some people who watch this interview and think, okay, I really want to do my own part. I really want to support. I really want to contribute to something like this, like a foundation like yours. What will you advise them or encourage them to do?
What I'll encourage them to do is to actually keep their head above waters. And what I mean by this is that, for you to undergo something like this, there are a lot of challenges, a lot of hurdles, which they will have to cross no matter what. And actually, they need to just be strong and focus on their goals. Because once you're having such things, you have to keep your goals and mission in view, so as not so in order that nothing should override those visions and mission you have. Actually,
Where do you see your foundation, the political lady, in next 3 to 5 years?
wow, actually, as a matter of fact, I see political lady foundation making impact in the grassroots, especially not only in Nigeria but across Africa. Actually, majorly the grassroots. I hope political lady will extend everywhere across Africa.
Honestly, that's fantastic to hear. I've really learned a lot from you during this interview. So I just want to go a little sideways. You say you paint and draw as a hobby. Do you have any artworks lying around your place?
No, currently I don't have any artwork right now.
Okay.
Right? Maybe, yeah, but these are things I do actually. Like in my room, I just make them, paste them on the wall, stuff like that. So I don't have any things by.
Okay, Ma, I think I have exhausted the questions I have for you this morning. I really want to say thank you for honoring our request to be on this interview. I wish you a lot of success in your future endeavors with Political Lady and working with the child rights advocacy. So, Ma, do you have anything to say as we are running off this interview?
Actually, first, I want to appreciate your effort as well because,
Thank
in
you, Ma.
media plays a vital role in our day-to-day life. Actually, you're doing a very good job and I recommend your effort. And lastly, what I want to tell people around is this. Please, in terms of the issue that concerns these children, you can as well create more civilization to people around you because you find out that a lot of people, they have people close by that they see them doing things that are, uncalled for to children, and they are unable to air out their view and to tell such people that this is not right. At least let's make our world a better place by doing something, saying something, correcting things around us, and making things the right way.
Okay, so I understand that each and every one of us has a part to play, as little as it might seem. All our combined efforts can work against child labor in Nigeria and even in Africa.
Yeah, of course.
Okay,
Exactly.
thank you very much, Ms. Dunbe Birsan. Really appreciate you, and I really hope you have a nice day.
Thank you, same. Thank you.